Bracelet or something, and she gave me initially this Amazon packet full of stickies, and she goes, "Oh, to hang your posters." I was like, "Cool, thank you for this $10 present. I hope you enjoy your $500 bracelet." And then pardon me. And then she goes, because she got me.
Yeah.
And then she pulled out all these sound dampening panels, as well as my old T-shirts that were just sort of vanishing and being replaced with grown-up clothes.
Yeah.
And she had been not only sneaking them out, but she'd cut them all up and stretch them over the canvas. And so that's what they are.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I like them. And it helps not only dampen sound, but it sort of fits the aesthetic of the room in general. So normally how I start this off is I'll just be like, "Hey, welcome to 646. We're in the studio with Rico Browne, and Ryan, Rico Browne, and we're just going to shoot the breeze for about an hour about everything."
That's cool. Rico's fine.
Yeah, I know. But just in case. It's funny. I think we were hanging out for 3 years before I knew your name was Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was at the Dobro. Got off stage, and someone goes, "Hey, where'd Ryan go?" I'm like, "The hell's Ryan?"
Yeah.
"The guy you were just on stage with." "I was on stage with 3 other dudes. Who are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Like, "The short guy with the long dark hair and the beard." I was like, "Rico?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, his name's Ryan." Oh. Felt like such a dunce. But, yeah, I thought that was interesting. Kind of cool, actually. Like, you're like Clark Kent.
Yeah. When I first moved here, nobody knew my name.
Yeah. That was a high school thing, right?
No, it was after college.
Oh, actually. Really?
But I always had nicknames my whole life.
Okay.
I always had different nicknames depending on who I was talking to, basically.
Oh. I had the genesis of that nickname all wrong then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you end up with that nickname?
Well, because I grew up in a hick town, hockey town, and I didn't. I dressed with wearing undershirts and button-ups with collars and fedoras and nice shoes. So everybody's like, "You're like a Rico Suave."
Oh.
So mostly because of how I dressed. Most of my nicknames were based around how I looked.
Well, yeah, I think
I guess that's how most nicknames are.
Yeah, I was just going to say. Little John, normally a giant dude.
True.
Yeah, that was funny. You were saying when you first got here, you guys had just played a show. I've already forgotten.
Friday night we played at the Killaloe Craft Fair.
Right.
Which is a long-running folk festival up in the hills of Killaloe.
Right. Was that Blue Hazel?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, Blue Hazel.
Was it the full band?
No, just the trio.
Okay.
And it was basically getting rained out as we were driving up, so we were expecting to be canceled, but as we pulled up, the rain cleared and sound crew got it going, and we pulled a set off. And
nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
How long is the set? Like 45?
That one they did an hour.
Oh, nice. So you actually had time to cook.
Yep. Yeah, we got a good set out.
Nice.
And it's like an old festival that I used to help my dad do sound at when I was a little kid. When I was like 12 years old, I go help Dad do PA for it. So it's nice for us to go up and play it because it's like a full circle.
Yeah. Feels like a homecoming sort of thing.
Yeah. A lot of my family is up there too, and they attend. And yeah, it's good.
That's great, man.
Visit.
It's funny. I was thinking we were talking about how you shouldn't run powered speakers. Your dad was saying you should never run. And I was like, I've done it before. Yeah. I looked it up today. It's like, yeah, don't do that. So I've just been very lucky. Yeah. So never again. Never again. Which is, it's good to know. It's good. Which is, you would think I would know more about that kind of stuff, but I really don't.
Me neither. I should too, having a sound guy as a dad.
Right.
I mean, I know enough to get it going.
Yeah.
But after that, my knowledge is pretty limited.
Yeah. My studio knowledge apparently is way further along than my live sound.
Yeah.
When it comes to live, I'm pretty entry, I suppose.
Well, and they are different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that board it's not powered, right? So
right.
I never thought about it. I was just like, I run powered speakers through that thing all the time.
Right.
Which totally makes sense. But then the other one, that Webbs have that same head.
Yep.
I've actually run powered speakers through that. No problem.
Well, I know you can run powered speakers when you come out of the monitor out.
Yeah, the B line. Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't have any power in its signal.
Yeah. Well, no, because I've run passive monitors out of the B line.
Wow. Interesting.
I always do.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say always, but I don't own any powered monitors.
And that's how you run it.
Yeah. But I have run powered speakers through both lines.
Yep.
I probably shouldn't, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Which was like, oh man, I'm really glad I didn't blow anything up, because those are rentals.
Right.
So.
It's a rental.
Yeah. They'll get over it.
Yeah.
They can write it off. Yeah. But a bunch of stuff has gone down similarly, because the last time you were here was pre-COVID.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think of even who I was playing with back at that time. Was Seed still active at that time?
No, Seed had ended. I think you were playing with Emily.
Ah. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Because when you came on, you did Perpetual Blues Machine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we still cover that.
Good.
To this day. It's a great song.
Yeah.
Kev Mo's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, just on that, what led you to that tune? Because Em told the story, not last night, but Friday night. We were out in Halliburton, and before she started to play Perpetual, she goes, Rico always used to do this one.
Yeah.
So now, even though he's,
I found Kebmo through Will Dawson, the old drummer from Seed. Mm-hmm. His father was a real audiophile. And
cool.
Their house was just full of like everything, VHS and CDs and cassettes, and he kind of introduced me to a lot of different things. Like Miles Davis I learned from Willie's dad, and
oh wow,
lots of different groups. But he had I think it was like a DVD of Kebmo in concert, and he played a bunch of tunes, but that one in particular caught my ear.
Cool.
So
I am listening. Sorry, something's just
right.
messed up with my headphone.
It's one of those tunes that I always wanted to learn, so I figured it out as best as I could.
Yeah.
I just always was attracted to that like solo bluesman style, like carrying all the parts on one guitar.
Like the Robert Johnson kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shit's hard to do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of thumb work.
Big time.
And then he also, I think, I've never learned to do it, but he plays the harp on the yoke in that song. So it's like everything, one guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And great singer, too.
Yeah.
Like, really, really good. In the studio version, is it him doing the answer to that call, too?
Yeah. It's just one guitar.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I meant like vocally, because there's a call and answer in the...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think it is
just double-tracked him?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool.
Actually, I haven't listened to the recording in a long time.
Yeah. I know what you mean. You learn a track and you just eventually start doing it the way you do it.
Yeah.
At one time, this used to be
exactly
the original version, but I don't even know if it is.
Exactly.
I don't even know if the shit's in the same key. It's probably not. But yeah, and then you just kind of, I don't know, it's weird. You go back and you re-listen to a track that you've been playing for decades, and you're like, oh, I'm not doing anything like that.
Well, last time I played with Emily and Marcus, we went to do that song, and that song has a double chorus on the end.
Yeah, it does.
And they had forgotten that.
Right.
And so I went into it, and they were just, they caught it quickly.
Yeah.
But it was just like, oh, because I had re-listened to it, I think, before to kind of make sure I remembered it. So I went into that ending double chorus, and it was like, oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that got cut. The double chorus part has been cut off, like when I'm with them and doing it, the double chorus gets cut off.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I were to play it with you, I would have to really be
paying attention.
Yeah, we're doing it. Cool. Yeah. It's funny how versions of stuff change, and it's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Seed. Do you have any more of those CDs?
I think there's some kicking around. I only say that because I know we never sold all of them.
Okay.
Like there was a surplus, but I have no idea where it is.
Damn.
It could be with my brother or with Willie.
Right.
But you could still find it on SoundCloud.
Yeah. Yeah.
That old website.
Good old SoundCloud. I have no problem with finding it digitally, but that CD used to live in my car.
Yeah.
And then that old Honda that I had. But when it died, the CD was in it. And it was like, oh.
It went to the wreckers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because it couldn't get it out. Like, there was just zero power coming in. It wasn't just a battery thing. Like, the whole thing was just cooked.
Right.
Couldn't get the CD out. And, man, because the first time I saw Seed, we were opening, one of the bands I was in was opening for you guys at Market Hall.
Oh.
I want to say it was like a Toys for Tots thing or something.
Oh, yeah, I remember doing that.
And you had the crazy long, like Pippi Longstocking pigtails at the time. And I was like, oh, yeah, I need that record.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't think the car died until like 2 years later. And that CD just lit. So every time I turned my car on, I listened to that album for like 2 years straight, basically, every time I drove. And I haven't heard it since the car died, which was like, man, it was like 8 or 9 years ago now.
Right.
So it's been a long time since I've heard that record. And I really want to, I remember a couple of those. The very first one, where it opens up with Collins screaming like, listen up!
Yeah.
And then it kicks into that super awesome riff rock track. And I was just like, man, I want to hear that again.
Yeah.
It's so good. But, okay, I'll have to see if I can track somebody down that's got a
Yeah, I usually bring it up once or twice a year just to remember it. And it was a lot of fun making it and playing with those guys.
Yeah, because your brother produced the whole thing, right?
Yep. And he engineered it. He basically anything that wasn't, on the back end of recording a record, it was all Aaron.
Yeah, that's really wild. And it was just you guys recorded in his living room, right?
We did the drums in his living room because it had a taller ceiling. But he had like a basement studio like this.
Oh, okay.
We did most of it in there. Pretty near. Yeah, the whole thing was done in his basement studio. Which was a lot of fun to do, like to be that involved in it. Yeah. Because usually when my recording experience is like go in, do the track, and then leave. Yeah. And then hear it when it's been finalized. Yeah. Which I enjoy that part too.
It's a lot less time consuming that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But it is really cool to be able to watch it evolve from the absolute start to the finish. Yeah. That is an interesting, if sometimes frustrating, process. Yeah, yeah. It's like, why does that sound like that? And I'm curious, when you guys were writing that, did you write and rehearse the tracks before you recorded, or in the studio, or was it a mix?
We would. So a lot of the music was already complete or semi-complete, you could say, before we even had Chris Collins to sing. Right. The three of us had been getting together for probably about a year. Once a week we'd get together and just write the music side of it, for not even worried about lyrics or melody or anything, just getting the riffs and the drum beats and stuff, and trying to make a form of a song. And then when we met Collins and got him involved, that's when we started concentrating on lyrics and melody.
Yeah, for sure.
So you could say, yeah, it was very, by the time it was time to track it, it was very rehearsed.
Right.
Like, there would have been some stuff that we were writing during the process, like maybe some backup harmonies and stuff like that. But lyrics and melody were done. And the thing with it too is, like, by the time we started concentrating on lyrics and melody, basically the full form of the songs were already recorded in a demo form.
Right.
So you could just listen to that while you were trying to write a melody or lyrics, and you knew it's like, well, that's going to be a verse and that's going to be a chorus. And, it was like a year in the making, so it was definitely well rehearsed.
Yeah.
Will knew what fills he wanted to play where, and Aaron knew what solos he wanted to play, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. And you were saying that, at least for writing bass lines, it's like, maybe.
Well, the bass lines would have been written by then.
Yeah, but the way you, like, I don't know, we were talking about it the other day at the store, and you were saying just, like, how you feel about writing your lines. You're always like,
yeah.
Like, I don't want to say unsure, but, like, it always, and I'm of the same mind frame, is that I feel like there's always a better option than what I've come up with. Yeah. And I just don't know what it is yet.
Well, my approach, and I think it was through that time when it comes to making up a part, is to not try to please myself, but please my bandmates or whoever I'm working with. Yeah. If they're happy, then that's enough.
Yeah.
Because trying to make myself happy might take forever or wait longer than the project can sustain.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
If I make a part up and everyone around just says, yeah, that sounds good, it's like, okay, that's good then.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Can accept that.
Yeah, you need somebody else to tell you.
I think everybody feels that way about the part they've come up with, or
I certainly do.
Just that's kind of the pleasure of being in a group, is like having someone there to say, no, that's good. Like, don't overthink it. You're doing great.
Yeah. That is probably my biggest problem, is if I'm left to my own devices, that's how you end up with 7 guitar tracks and like strings and keys and horns, and then you're like, oh, this can't be replicated live.
Sure.
Damn. You rewrite the same riff 60 different times or something, and you're like, I actually like the way I did it the first time best.
Usually.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I know, especially from recording with M, just the whole, like, no, man, you got it.
Yeah.
That was it. There was one specifically. I want to say, because it was definitely on Arrow, the newest album.
Yeah.
I want to say it was the track Never Takes Too Long. I'm pretty sure that was what it was. And I had it in my head that I screwed up something.
Right.
And it was one of the choruses or something, that I thought anyway, that I screwed up. And Sam and Ryan and James were all like, I didn't hear anything. I was like, no, it's in the third chorus or whatever. They play it. I was like, no, sounds good. I was like, can we just solo the bass track? Because it's there.
Right.
They solo it. And they're like,
nothing there.
Nothing there, man. What are you talking about? I was like, it's somewhere else in the song. Can we just listen to the whole bass line? Listen through the whole thing. There's nothing there.
Yep.
Like, there's no screw up. And I was so convinced that I made a mistake. Just like, sometimes like a knuckle collapses.
Sure.
And it feels weird, and you're like, mistake.
Yeah.
Now I think that must have been what happened.
It wasn't picked up on the track.
Yeah, it just, because everything sounded fine.
Yeah.
But I was convinced that it was wrong. If I'd have been tracking by myself, I would have deleted that track and done another one.
Right.
Because I would have been like, oh, it's wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't have even listened back.
Yeah.
I would have just been like, no, and gotten rid of it. So luckily, through doing those kinds of session jobs for other people, especially when they're in the room,
Yeah.
when they're sitting right next to you and they're like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Don't screw around with it anymore. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
That has helped a lot with going like, good enough.
Yeah.
Because before, that didn't exist.
Right.
So, just to kind of piggyback on what you had just said.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's a tricky thing to come to terms with and to learn as we get older.
Yeah. And then also just same sort of thing with editing yourself in an improvisational setting, I find anyways. Like, man, especially when I first finished school, I was so horny to show everybody every trick I could play in every song.
Yeah.
And it was like, now I'm like, I'm just going to ride the route. I'm going to pedal these eighths.
Yeah.
I don't care if anybody knows I'm here or not. So, but actually, you were a big help with a lot of that. I'm just like, why? I'm like, I don't know. Actually, this is on that topic of you helping me fix things. There was one day I was writing a tune, and I was so dead set on making a song that was very Dorian sounding. For anybody listening, it's a mode. It's it's a second degree of the major scale that you focus on, and it's kind of a cool sound. It's got a major 6, but flat 3, flat 7. Anyway, I was so obsessed with trying to make that sound happen the whole time.
Right.
You're like, why does it have to stay Dorian? I was like, I don't know. I guess it doesn't. And you're like, cool, man. I'm going to go to the bathroom. You just like left. And as you were coming back, I was like, I think I got something. And I showed you the next line. You're like, yeah, that's way better.
Yeah.
And then just walked. And it was just that, like, basically one word. Like, why?
Right.
I was like, I don't. That was very, very helpful.
Yeah.
But, like, very minimalistic, too. It was just kind of funny because sometimes that is your demeanor almost.
Yeah.
You're just like this right now.
Trying to be Yoda.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. But I don't know. I find it not only helpful but calming.
Yeah.
Which is it's just so nice. Even when you told me to go to school, you just do it. Like, I still that was. Damn, dude. I was 23 when I told you I was thinking about going to school.
Right.
I'm 39.
Yeah.
I'll bet you I think about that probably once a month.
Yeah.
Sitting in your car smoking that cigarette.
Yeah. After the bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Many moons ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm thinking about going to school. And he was like, do it. And just, honestly, just that. They're like, oh, this guy thinks I can do it. That meant a lot. It really did. Yeah. So, and I know I say that a lot on stages. Every time you're in the room, I'm like, I gotta let everybody know.
Yeah. Well,
but it's true,
happy
man.
To help.
Yeah. Well, like, shoot. From like the midpoint of my music journey on, most of the coolest stuff that has happened to me is directly influenced by your family.
Oh,
which is pretty wild.
True.
So it's it's like, damn, that's crazy. So it's I feel a duty, I suppose, to say it whenever possible.
Oh.
So just not to get too mushy, but real quick, thank you. Seriously, genuinely, because like you changed my life, man.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm happy to help.
Cool. Sorry to jump around.
Yeah.
With the Webs thing.
Yeah.
Was that pre, during, or post Seed?
Technically, it would have been post. Like, okay. I left Seed to join the Webbers.
Right.
And it wasn't like I left Seed. We still continued to play the odd show when our schedules would allow, but playing with the Weber brothers is pretty much a full-time gig, so
yeah,
it was hard to do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, it would have been after Seed.
Right. Is that when you first started playing harmonica? Was with the Webers as well?
That's when you could say I started playing more seriously. I always had one as a kid and like would dabble here and there.
Sure.
But that was kind of the first opportunity I had to like actually play a harmonica in a band.
Yeah.
Before that, it was just something I did for myself, like at home.
Right.
Yeah.
Would that have been when you?
That was my first opportunity to basically play any instrument other than bass.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say because that's when you really started, at least publicly, becoming the multi-instrumentalist that everybody knows you for now.
Yep.
But you started playing keys you would have started playing keys in college though, right?
No, keys. Piano was my first instrument.
Oh, it was your first?
I took piano lessons when I was 8 for about 4 years.
Oh.
And then I got a bass when I was around 11.
Oh, okay.
And then bass kind of took over.
Yeah.
For, the most part. But I would still dabble on the keyboard here and there. And, like, I picked the guitar up when I was probably around 16.
Okay, yeah.
Just, again, like noodling, never intending to be a guitarist, but just enjoying. I think my whole life I was always attracted to all of the instruments.
Yeah. They're so shiny.
Yeah, and just like I liked why that guitar part sounded so cool is because of how the drummer played behind it, or noticing little things and how the different instruments would work together in a song. So that I was always attracted to everything.
Yeah,
it just so happened that bass, for most of my life, was like the role or the hole that needed to be filled. So that was the position I would always take.
Sure.
And of course, in the beginning, you're just trying to get good at one of them. So for me, that was bass.
I'm still trying to get good at one of them. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Someday. Yeah. I can totally relate to that. The thrill of putting the puzzle pieces together between the different instruments. That is to me the most exciting thing, is like leave a little bit of room here so that this can fill that gap, and this kind of weaves in between those, and that's the real cool stuff. And you play a little bit of drums too, right?
Little. That would probably be my weakest instrument, like a drum set.
Yeah.
I can keep a beat going or whatever, but I'm not a confident drummer.
Yeah. Oh, me neither. That's why no one will ever see me do it on stage. I would sooner play ukulele on stage than the drums.
The drums.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, uke is similar enough to the other stringed instruments that it's like, okay, this is not that big a stretch.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, intervallically, it's tuned the same way as the top end of a guitar. So that helps a lot.
Sure.
Like, I'm just going to transpose every lick I already know, and now it sounds like I'm a very competent uke player, but that's all smoke and mirrors.
Right.
Yeah. But then the Webs would have been the first. I don't want to say forced, but they kind of force everybody to play a little bit at everything.
Yeah,
in a cool way.
Yep.
Like
when I was first asked to join the Weber brothers, their keyboard player was needing some time off. Shy.
Yeah.
And so Ryan called me and he said, Shy needs some time off. Would you like to come in and kind of fill that hole? And I was really intimidated by being a keyboard player in the Weber brothers band, who had this amazing keyboardist that people were expecting to see. And Ryan said right from the get-go, he's like, well, you're not going to be the keyboard player. You're going to be the multi-instrumental guy. So you'll play a little keyboard, a little guitar, a little harmonica, like whatever we need you to play it for whatever song. And I thought, well, that's a bit less intimidating, believe it or not, for me at the time.
No, I get that.
And Ryan himself being a great multi-instrumentalist, it allowed him to get off the bass, and I could take the bass for a few tunes and let him play piano.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah. It also looks super cool on stage when basically the members just revolve
Yeah.
around the different stations. It's like, whoa, what are we watching right now? Yeah. I love opportunities to do that kind of stuff. It's so fun. And then...
Other than lugging all that equipment.
Yeah. Although now it's getting easier. Everything's getting so much lighter.
That's true.
Like all those... See, this is embarrassing to admit, but I don't... Is it neodyme with an M or an N? It's not neodyne.
Now I'm not sure.
See, that's what I don't know either. Because I haven't read it yet.
The lightweight speaker.
It's the stuff that weighs nothing.
Yes.
Like the cab behind you, max, I don't even think it's 40 pounds. It might be 30 pounds max. Yeah. Whereas the rig behind me, with the head on top, is 120.
Right.
Actually, that's one that I wiped out on the ice with, and took the corner in the hips.
Yep.
I was like, nah. That's why I got that sweet little GK rig behind you, because I'm like, I want something that weighs a little more than a sandwich.
Yes.
And it does. It's really, especially the head. Like, you can literally lift that GK head with your pinky.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How little and light and loud they are.
Yeah, the technology's getting sweet. Like those powered speakers we were looking at the other day.
Yeah.
They were so loud.
Yeah.
So how many watts was the bigger one? Do you remember? It's like 4,000 something.
Yeah. It's 4,000 RMS. I think the idea is that they run at 1,000.
Oh, okay.
Watts,
still.
which is tons of power.
That's for one channel.
Yeah.
Is running at 1,000 watts. It's so insane.
Yeah.
It was it was probably about 30 pounds.
Yep.
It weighs about as much as that GK cab behind you.
Yeah.
Like, that's so incredible.
Yeah.
Like, that's... I was going to say Jetsons, but that's, I mean...
Yeah, we're getting close.
We're getting close. Right? I mean, shoot, you guys got a little Rosie, almost. Your Roomba.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, that's such a nerd thing. Rosie is the robot maid from the Jetsons.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what you meant by Rosie.
Sorry.
Now I got you.
Yeah.
But Rosie's like the maid.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. She's the robot maid.
She's more than just a vacuum.
Yes, yeah. She even had, like, it was ridiculous. There's a robot maid with a feather duster.
Right. Well, got to establish that it's a maid.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Because the white bonnet and the black apron didn't give it away. On a robot. Why is it wearing a bonnet? That's so weird. I used to watch way too many cartoons as a kid.
I still watch cartoons.
Oh, I still do, but it's far less frequent.
Sure.
I mean, the same time allowance does not exist anymore. There's like, do you remember? Because you're what, like maybe a year and a half older than me?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. There was a time where even if you didn't have cable, if you just had regular TV, you could time it out so you could watch The Simpsons 3 times in a row, back to back after school. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
I would have been like 14-ish.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be the same episode, and you're like, I don't care.
I don't even care.
I'm going to watch it again.
I'll watch it again.
Keep running these TV drills. Oh, my God. And then, how long were you full-time in the webs for? It was a while, right?
Yeah, I think it was around 7 years.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That is a good stretch.
Yeah. It was a great stretch. Got to see the country back and forth a few times, and down in the States, and played a lot of amazing shows with them, and they're a great crew and everybody involved, and then have my brother involved in it too, so that was always good too.
Yeah. I love getting the opportunity to work with that community.
Yeah,
really,
it is.
Like the people that they've curated around them is incredible. Yeah. It's super cool.
Well, and it stretches across the whole country. There's like a whole community of people that you get to meet and spend time with and get to know.
And they're all crazy nice.
Yeah.
It's like there isn't one turd in the punch bowl. It's always a good party.
Yeah.
So it's it is a really wicked community. And then when you first joined up with M, would that have been when you started to slow down with the webs, or would you have been?
No, we were going full bore, both groups.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think of when she started doing that. Like, I don't remember exactly how long it would have been. Maybe 4 or 5 years before I stepped away from it.
Right.
But yeah, I was there from the beginning. And yeah, she was quite busy, as well as the Webbers being quite busy at that time. Cutting records and doing shows, and she was doing her own tours as well. Like we did it. I did a tour with her of Manitoba for, I think it was a 3-week tour, and that was one of the last tours I did, actually, with everybody there and then I stepped away to take a break of touring, you could say.
Yeah. Well, it's taxing.
Yeah, it can be quite taxing.
Like the physical toll it can take on you is high sometimes.
Yep.
Like, as fun as it is, like, and everybody's like, oh man, to be a touring musician must be like you're on vacation all the time. It's like, well, I wouldn't call it vacation. It's a trip.
It's a lot of fun. I wouldn't call it a vacation.
Yeah, you're definitely working.
You're working.
Yeah. Like some of those like 16-hour drives and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are intense.
Yeah, that can get to you.
Your vision's all blurring out, and you're like, I shouldn't be driving. We're going to die. We're definitely going to die. Yeah. So, but man, it is, I don't know. I know you don't tour to the same volume that you used to. Do you miss it at all, that frequency of it?
No, not really.
Okay.
I enjoy the touring I've been doing as of late. Or
that makes
the amount
lot of sense.
And the style of it, you could say. But yeah, it's like doing like a van tour is not something that I find too appealing anymore. I'm not regretful at all. Like, I really loved that I got to do it.
Yeah.
And like, especially even doing it that way, there's something kind of beautiful about that.
Yeah, there's definitely a romantic component to it where it's like, we're really in the trenches, slugging it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to compare it to being on a pirate ship. And like the people in your band are part of that ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we all take turns steering, and we all take turns lifting each other up, and we all take turns solving the problems of getting the ship to the next port.
Yeah. That's a really good analogy.
That's essentially what you're doing. There's no right or wrong, or there's no way to do it. You just figure it out as you go and collectively get there.
Yeah. I like that. It is kind of a swashbuckling sort of existence for however long you're out there for.
Yeah.
And you do kind of get a little scurvy, and
exactly.
Everybody's unwashed to an extent.
Yeah.
You get kind of gross out on the road. Come back all straggly and
malnourished.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Dude, do you remember the feeling when it's been, I don't know, probably a week since you've had some really good vegetables, and then you put some in your face, and your body, you can just feel your body absorb it.
Yeah.
Right in that moment, you're like,
that first home cooked meal,
dude.
That I've definitely experienced that.
Yeah, especially if someone else is putting you up.
Yeah.
And you're not just, I don't know, eating like a Wendy's salad or something. Nothing against Wendy's salads or anything, but
Yeah.
When someone goes, here, I've roasted these vegetables for you. Like, oh my God. Oh, carotene. Yeah. or whatever it happens to be.
Vitamin C.
Yeah. It's like, I could run through a wall right now. It was pretty amazing. And it's like, this wasn't under a heat lamp for hours. This is this is the best. It's weird. Those van tours, it's like the two best days are the day you head out and the day you get home.
Yeah. That's true.
Everything in between is great.
Sure. But the 2 best days are the day you head out and the day you go home.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Because when you're heading out, it's all exciting and
yeah.
You're, we're embarking on an adventure. And then by the time you get home, you're definitely ready to rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a very different experience than what you're doing nowadays, though.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Tell us about all the cool stuff you've been doing, man.
Anything specific? Or?
Well, I mean,
I do a lot of things.
Why don't you start with the band you're playing with?
Oh, well, I started playing with I Mother Earth as of last October. And it's been really fun.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Elaborate, dude. That's so exciting. I mean, we grew up idolizing that band.
Definitely, yeah. Listening to that stuff and learning on that stuff. Yeah, no, it's been great. Getting to know them all. They're all really great guys and great musicians. And it's been nice, like, touring at that level with the crew and the roadies and the buses and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to be a rock star.
What's that?
You get to be a rock star.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. I've been enjoying it. Is there anything specific you want to know?
Well, sure. I mean, whatever you want to talk about, but it's just so funny that it's like, I was talking earlier about how the very minimalist Zen-like state you tend to operate in.
Well, I guess the funny thing, and I don't know this about all bands, but definitely with the band I Mother Earth, is it's not all that much different than playing in any band I've ever played in.
Right.
As far as the personalities I'm working with, and they're all very like-minded people that just want to put on a great show for their fans, and they want to do the work that's required to do that. The differences essentially would be having helping hands to help you pull that off, and having a crew there to help you set stuff up and get the sounds dialed in. And even just like the little things that you wouldn't necessarily think of, like not having to figure out where you're going to eat.
Yeah.
There's always food provided, or where you're going to stay, or how you're going to get somewhere. Like all those kind of, the logistical side of things is taken care of, and that's a huge weight lifted off of me, you know.
Yeah. How could it not be? Because then all you have to focus on is the music.
Yeah. Which that's awesome. Like that's a lot of fun to be able to do it that way. And I still, of course, play with other groups that don't have that, like Blue Hazel, and I just did a handful of shows with Nick Campbell and
right.
Melissa Payne. Played with her yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Where were you guys yesterday?
We were in Uxbridge.
Oh, nice.
At the Uxbridge Pride Festival.
Ah,
yeah.
Okay.
Or I think they just call it Pride. They don't have to call it a festival.
Oh, okay.
It's my first Pride, so.
Oh,
but
cool.
It was fun. It was a good one.
Nice. Yeah, I was trying to figure out some dates to try to get Nick in here.
Oh yeah, you have to get.
Well,
Nick
you
in
were
here.
there.
Yeah. He's got a lot to talk about. I'm sure he's been a busy boy.
Yeah. Well, you have too. Like, you recently did the Calgary Stampede, didn't you?
Yeah. That was an I Am Mother Earth one there. We flew out and played on a Monday, which when they first told me it was on a Monday, I was like, you guys sure we're playing on a Monday? And they said, well, it's during Stampede. And I said, okay. But we went out and we played to a huge crowd of cowboy hats, and they were all singing I Mother Earth songs. So
that's got to be a weird juxtaposition.
It was weird, but it was like really cool.
Yeah.
Like and fun. You see like a guy with the cowboy hats and boots, but like a Rage Against the Machine t-shirt, singing along to every I Mother Earth song. Like, this is odd to look at, but it was really fun.
Yeah, that would be a deceiving visual.
It was. And it being on a Monday night, we were not expecting like a large or excited crowd, but they were there. Like, ooh. I think the whole city kind of takes that whole week off.
Yeah.
During Stampede. And I love
why not?
Alberta. Like, I love the province and the people out there. And we weren't there long, so it wasn't like a big visit, but it was nice to be out there.
There a couple days, maybe?
Yeah, 3 days.
Yeah.
Any of these, we have a few of these fly-in shows over the summer, and so those are always 3 days. We fly out the day before we play,
right?
And we have the show day, and then usually fly home the day after.
Right. That's a pretty sweet schedule, though, really, because rather than fly in, play the show, fly out.
Exactly.
Like, if it was, I mean, it couldn't be same day, but like even if it was only 48 hours, like.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Well, and I mean, even the way we're doing it, by the time you get home, you're pretty tired after all the traveling and
sure,
and all that. So, but yeah, to try to play the day you fly, it could be done, but it's not ideal.
Yeah, ugh.
As we know, airports are quite draining.
Yeah, well, and so are time changes.
Yeah,
because it's what two and a bit hours earlier in Alberta
for Alberta. Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't think it would bug me that much, but it did. It got me. It took me a few days to get over it because like it wasn't like I had time to acclimate. Over there, and then you come back again, and you're like, well, your brain's kind of just like, why is the sun up or down or what? Where are we? You know, but no, it's nice to get out to Calgary. It had been a while since I'd been out there.
Yeah, man, I haven't been out. I think pre-COVID was the last time I was out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss it. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I want to get back to BC too.
Yeah. I like BC.
Yeah.
I got to go to BC last fall with I Mother Earth on a tour.
Nice.
That was my last time there. And it was in November, so it wasn't like nicest time of the year, but it was still.
It's very wet that time.
Yeah, it was.
Were you guys in van, or were you on the island, or where'd you go?
Well, we played two places in the city.
Okay.
But I forget what they were. The last show we did was in Richmond.
Oh, okay.
Which I guess that is technically Vancouver, or
yeah,
it's like a suburb of Vancouver.
Yeah. It's sort of like Scarborough is Toronto.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we were never like downtown Vancouver.
Yeah. Well, depending on.
Well, we played Richmond the last night, and the night before we played like another burb.
Right.
Somewhere. I just can't remember. And we played a few shows like on the way in.
Sure.
In some of them ski towns or whatever.
Yeah.
Hard to remember because it was a 30-day tour, and there were 23 dates across Canada.
Right. Everything's kind of blend together.
Kinda, for me. And I'm not as well versed in like the British Columbia cities and as I am in like more of the. I think I spent more time in the prairies. Is why.
Sure. Yeah. I grew up on the West Coast, so
right.
I have a lot more. My prairie knowledge is not.
Well, I think it's easier in the prairies too because there's just everything so.
Well, you can see the next town from where you are.
Yeah, it's so spread out too. It's like there's only these cities. There's not a lot of small towns to get to, or
yeah.
Yeah.
Not quite as mountainous.
No, it's certainly not as mountainous.
Yeah. Oh man, that's rad. Where you next with IME? Do you know yet?
Yeah, we're playing at the Burton Cummings Theater in Winnipeg in 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
And it's like a festival, so there's a bunch of other bands.
Oh, cool.
And I'm not recalling who they are.
Okay.
Right now.
That's got to be a real trip too, though, because you've got to play with some other pretty hot acts.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and it's kind of funny because like with the guys from My Mother Earth, they all know all these bands. Like they've all grown up together.
Yeah,
essentially.
Of course.
And I'm meeting them all for the first time, and they're just all chummy and But they're good. They're good friends with the Finger 11 guys, and
Yeah.
and then on the tour that I did, we were touring with the Tea Party, so I got to meet them, and they're great guys, and an amazing band. What a powerful band for 3 guys.
Yeah.
They're just like thunder coming off that stage, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you were saying how not just straight up loud, but forceful.
Yeah, and
everything
like
is.
I mean, it certainly is loud. It's a rock
Well,
and roll
yeah.
show, but just like sheer confidence is all I can.
That's so cool.
Like strength is
Yeah.
how I would describe it. Which is I grew up listening to them. The drummer I grew up with, Will, like his 2 favorite drummers in the world were Christian Tanna from My Mother Earth and Jeff Burrows from the Tea Party. And my first tour, I'm playing with Christian, and then with the Tea Party
Yeah.
playing alongside us. It was like, wow, what a thing to be part of, you know.
Yeah. That's got to be... It's got to be a pretty wild experience because you know, kind of, I don't know, I can't speak for you, but I know for me, you dream about playing with people like that when you're a kid.
Yeah,
And
I
then
definitely did.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of a little, I don't even know if you want to call it like a meditation I would do, not knowingly, but whenever I was like playing beside the radio as a kid, if I was playing with like a Rush song,
Yeah.
in my mind I was in their band. I was in Rush. Like,
Yeah.
I was Geddy Lee.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, or I was Flea when I played beside the radio.
Yeah.
So to actually, and I certainly did the same when I was trying to learn I'm Mother Earth songs as a kid. So now to actually be playing in the band is quite a full circle moment for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's got to be trippy. I mean, I jammed with Jag and Christian the one time.
Yeah.
And that was a trip.
Yeah.
So to be able to do that night after night has got to be like dreamlike almost.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Well, and I think like the icing on the cake is like kind of realizing that they're just like us. Like they're,
Right.
you know, they grew up the same way I grew up, and they had their bands that they really liked and wanted to be like. And I think from the outside looking in, you assume whatever band you're talking about, it could be any band.
Yeah, yeah.
But you have these ideas of what these people would be like.
Yeah.
And then you get to know them, and you're like, oh, they're just like music nerds. You
Yeah.
know? They just really like music.
Yeah.
You're like, well, that's like me. That's what I am. You're like, where I think you might have thought that they were going to be like some sort of
Too cool for school.
yeah,
kind of thing,
or like
whatever.
this idea that the TV might have portrayed, like you saw them on an interview on Much Music, and
Yeah, or you're watching
know.
a music video or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
And then you find out it's like, oh,
they're just real people that
you know more about Lord of the Rings than anyone I've ever met.
exactly. Yeah. You know.
You also like Star Wars. Like a lot. Cool. All right.
So that's been really like awesome.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there are groups out there that aren't they maybe are the television image that you see, which
Right.
is maybe not as fun to
Right.
work with. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty sweet, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Shoot. What do you like outside of all of that? What are you working on for you? So I'm always curious about that kind of stuff.
Like as far as musical stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Well,
Or
like
whatever.
Blue Hazel. So that's mine and Caitlin and Misha's group. Mm-hmm. We just
Sorry, just real quick. Caitlin
Yeah.
O'Connor and Misha Browne.
Yeah, thank you.
It's not just us. If you forgot, though, I'm glad, because that means I'm not doing a bad job.
You're doing a great job.
Oh, thanks, man.
But we recently did a little recording at James McKinty's.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. We picked a bunch of Peterborough groups of our favorite bands. We couldn't fortunately get all the groups. We just didn't have time. But we picked a song by like the Weber Brothers and Matt Holpe and Express and Co. and like a bunch of different groups. And we covered one of their songs. And we recorded it at James in like the bluegrass style with like
the single mic,
and maybe I think he had a couple of room mics up too. And he used a tape machine, like an old fashioned tape machine, and just did it live off the floor.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to do something with that, and it's just there's no overdubbing. It's all just live off the floor. So I recently got some mixes back from James, and it sounded pretty good, so we might do some sort of release with that.
That's awesome. Keep me posted.
Yeah, we will for sure. Because
especially if I'm trying to remember what episode number this is, but if your release is coming out before this airs, I'll put all the links to it.
Right? Yeah, definitely.
If not, you'll just have to come back and talk about it.
Exactly. That's a good idea. Yeah.
I mean, shoot, if you and Caitlin, and I know it's hard to get the three of you in the same room at the same time these days, but if it's possible to get the three of you, that'd be the best. But even if I can only get two of you at a time, that's good enough.
Sure.
And then we can talk about that kind of stuff, and that would be great.
Yeah. Yeah, so we recorded that probably right around spring, and then summer's hit, so we've all got James is busy. We've been real busy, but I think we're going to get together and try to just get the final mixing done and do something with it.
Is he going to master it too, or are you sending it off?
I don't know. We'll see what he thinks.
Sure.
I'm not opposed to that, of course. I think we had an idea of trying to get vinyl done with it, but
definitely should
we'll have to see how involved that'll be.
There's a huge waiting list for vinyl.
Yeah.
It takes forever.
Yeah.
It's like, I see now that the trade routes have opened up a little bit more, it might not be quite as bad as it was, but when I was looking into it, it was a 6-month waiting list.
Oh, that's not too bad. I mean, it is what it is.
I mean,
that
feels bad. That feels bad. Feels like a really long time.
See, I like working 6 months in advance.
Oh, sure.
Gives you time to promote and market and figure out what you're doing.
That's true. I'm just impatient. I want to hold it now.
But I want it now.
Yeah. But I've given you the money. Now give me my thing. So I like brick and mortar shops, man. So I give you the money and you give me the hat.
Me the thing, yeah.
That's the deal. But yeah, unfortunately, I just got the Time's Up thing in the phones. But this was really cool. I really appreciate you making some time to stop by. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. Anytime you want to come promote something or even just hang out and shoot the shit, we can do that too.
Sure.
Cool. And then also it helps me put out episodes too. So it's not only a nice hang, but helps me get some work done. Which I definitely appreciate. Any social media stuff that you want to plug where people can find either you or the bands or anything?
Obviously, so Blue Hazel. You can find us on, I'm horrible with the socials. We're on the Facebook. We're on
I think you guys have an Instagram.
The Instagram, that's the one I was trying to think of.
Okay.
And then you got your I Mother Earth. They got websites and Facebooks, and they might have other socials.
Yeah, I think, so I'm pretty sure Blue Hazel on Instagram is at Blue Hazel.
Thank you, Dawson.
And I think the I Mother Earth is at IME.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm pretty sure.
IME.
I'd have to double check. But.
And then, of course, don't forget about your Nicholas Campbell's and your Melissa Paynes and I
think his
your Emily Burgess's.
Yeah.
And your Weber brothers.
Yeah.
Is there anyone I'm missing?
I don't think so. Not off the top of my head.
Check it all out. Check out the music.
I can't remember everybody's socials off the top of my head, unfortunately.
That's okay. So. I'm not anti-social media. I'm just really lazy and don't put a lot of effort forward.
Well, in that department.
In that department.
I would not call you a lazy person.
Thank you. In the social media department.
Yeah. Well, because shoot, you teach what 3 days a week.
Yep.
And you're in. How many bands is that?
I don't even know.
5 bands?
I don't even count them anymore.
It's too many.
I show up for the gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you even do pickups, and you'll help bail people out of a. You bailed me out of a pickle not too long ago.
On the union.
Oh, that's right, the union. When's that starting back up?
Well, we should be starting up in the fall. That's our tradition.
Nice. Yeah. September or.
Probably. I'm kind of waiting to hear back from the other guys because Jason Jones is out on tour.
Yep. Brandon should just be getting back, shouldn't he?
I don't know. Where is he?
Well, he was out with Nick.
Oh, well, they're perpetually.
Yeah.
It's like the never-ending tour.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That dude is a workhorse.
Oh, yeah. He's young. He's got the energy.
Yeah. Hey, use it while you got
That's
it,
right.
man.
Get out there, kid.
You only have that window once.
That's right.
I can feel the gray.
Once
man.
your back goes, that's it. It's not coming back.
Well, there's some exercises you can do to prevent that shit.
Get on them exercises, kids.
Yeah, stretching is really. It's funny because you don't listen. You don't listen when you're 18 and you're I'm invincible.
Because you feel invincible.
Yeah, well, because you kind of are.
You really
to an extent.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to survive a bus crash, but
no.
Lifting amps and stuff. You're not thinking about lift with my legs.
No.
But you should.
Yeah. Definitely.
And wear earplugs.
Yeah.
Take it from a couple of old deaf guys.
I wear earplugs, people.
Yeah,
I wear
do
them.
too. I do too.
Not every night, but
yeah, unless I'm wearing in-ears. But then those are my earplugs, kind of.
Right.
So, also, thanks to Pet Rock for putting this out.
Definitely, Pet Rock. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very cool to have a home for this thing.
Definitely.
So, definitely do it again. Thanks a lot for coming by. And if you come with the Blue Hazel crew, we'll get it set up, and you guys can rock a track or something.
Sure,
if you want.
we'd love to.
Cool. Because I've been thinking about getting people to jam at the end of a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
That'd
they
be
feel
cool.
like it.
Yeah.
If they don't want to, I'm not going to pressure anybody, but I feel like it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Make them do it.
Yeah.
Force them to do it.
Yeah.
You will sing for your supper.
Yeah. Hold them at pepper spray point. So I don't own a firearm. So
That's right.
It'll have to be, and it'll be homemade pepper spray. It's just going to be like a squirt bottle with pepper water.
Pepper and water.
Yeah. Maybe cayenne if I'm feeling really.
It hurts my eyes, kind of.
Kind of. It's really now I'm just wet, and frustrated. Cool. All right, man. This was fun. Thank you. All right. That's pretty much it.
All right.
All right.